All right, so we're going to be talking about metallic bonds for the next couple of days. So I just want to go through some of the basics with you in this PowerPoint so that you can see some of the big concepts that you're going to need to know as we move. So the first thing we want to talk about is the structure of the metallic bonds. So all of your cations, or the bulk of the atom, is all going to be clustered together. Okay, the other part of that atom, the electrons, actually go into what we call the electron C model, where all of the cations put all of their electrons together basically, and from there, those electrons are able to move freely. So rather than each atom holding on to its own electrons in a metallic bond, all of the atoms share all of the electrons. Those electrons are able to travel across atoms as part of the metal. So that's where we get what we call delocalized electrons. So basically, we're just reinforcing this idea that the electrons don't belong to any one specific atom. They belong to the total. Okay, so the whole metal is sharing all of the electrons. All right. Some of the properties that you're going to want to really hone in on. The first one is that they have a high melting and extreme boiling point. So we talked about this a little bit in class, but when a metal is melted, it's a strong bond, so the melting point is going to be a little bit higher. But when it is melted, uh, the atoms aren't separated enough to break the metallic bond, whereas in order to boil a metal, you do have to break that bond. So it takes a lot of energy to reach a boiling point. Not quite as much, but still a high melting point. Okay. The idea that metals are malleable, ductile, and durable. Malleable meaning it can be bent or hammered into sheet. Ductile meaning that it can be made into wire, or that it's able to stretch without breaking right away. And then durable, obviously, meaning that it's able to resist punctures, things like that. All right. And the last thing that you need to make sure that you understand is the idea that it conducts heat and electricity. This goes back to those delocalized electrons. So basically, because electrons are able to flow freely through a metal, um, electricity, which is the stream of electrons, they're able to flow freely through it as well. So that works also for heat and energy. So energy is also able to go from atom to atom without giving up much of that energy. So these are the properties that I really want you to be able to explain and understand using the concept of delocalized electrons. So those are the main points of metals, and that's basically what we're going to be covering over the next couple of days.